So, the sage on racism. Just a small little topic to wonder about. Nothing complex, right? Nothing controversial. Yeah, so what I'm going to talk about today is, yes, the sage or the cosmic perspective of racism. And in no way do I mean to make light of it, although maybe I'm bringing the light to it, the cosmic light to this topic. I know this is a very serious topic. It's very at the relative level, meaning this like street view, 3D perspective. It's a very complicated, sensitive, and serious topic. But from the cosmic perspective, always these problems that seem so huge down here are so simple and make so much more sense when you can see them from the mountaintop or even beyond the mountaintop, right? And I think that's the perspective, or I feel that's the perspective I'm going to try to deliver today, okay? And why did I do this? Well, like everyone else, or hopefully everyone else, when this whole protest George Floyd thing hit us again, it really, that was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. And if it hurts me like this, just thinking about what happened and what has happened to everyone out there who has experienced something like that, it breaks my heart. So I can't imagine those of you of color who have experienced this, what you must be feeling, experiencing, thinking. But in light of that, I really dug deep into myself, my own beliefs, feelings, and I was just trying to understand where this whole thing came from. Where did it start? Where did this war between black and white start? Right? It's crazy. I mean, you can take all the historical perspectives and it just, none of it really makes sense. It just didn't land. This kind of pedestrian or earthly perspective didn't land with me at all, didn't settle anything inside of me. And so I contemplated, I sit and contemplate, I sit in silence, I stare out the window, I think, what is it? This black versus white. And this rather lighthearted musing, and I'm not making light of the subject, but it's just this kind of joyful little aha dropped into me. And I went, oh my God, I'm even getting chills right now. Could this is just like the symbol of the Tao, the symbol of the I Ching, the black and white, right? It's black and white. It is the play of Shiva and Shakti. And I got chills all over my body, and I thought, there's something here. This is the big play of consciousness on planet Earth between Shiva and Shakti. Now, what do I mean by that? These are the two great energies that make up our universe, our reality. The Shiva aspect, or the the creative and the receptive, the male, the female, these energies, these polar energies that are both playing on this planet. And I knew there had to be something there. So of course, I had to check in with the sage. And I've got a bunch of notes, and it might just be easier if I kind of read them or do kind of a stream of consciousness reading and share with you about what the sage and some of my own insights came along during this process. I mean, I started this like 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, and finally now I just finished it up. So as far as the hexagram and or gene key that was correlated, the sage that I threw the coins and received the hexagram I got was to explain this idea of this kind of war between black and white, Shiva and Shakti. What is going on? And I got, of course, the most perfect, I can't believe, perfect hexagram as usual. So I really feel I'm on the right track, and it's hexagram or gene key 44. And this hexagram is called Coming to Meet. And it deals with, in the I Ching, in some translations of the I Ching, it's called the attraction of opposites. I mean, hello, the attraction of opposites. But it's really about the attraction, let me move my notes here, of complementary energies, right? Everything in this manifest world has an opposite or a complement. And so this is talking, it's the perfect hexagram, and it's talking about how they are coming to meet in this real world, coming to meet. And you can picture, it's kind of a complicated thing to describe, but on this planet you can, you know, that everything is formed by these huge rays of creation, light rays. Just think of the sun and all of the light rays. And these rays, we have fractals or huge spirals. And we have two huge race fractals on this planet. We have the white race and we have the black race, with everything in between, all the little sub spirals in between. But we can say that we have the Shiva, the white race, and the Shakti, the dark race. And the dark does not, you know, it just means dark in this cosmic thinking is everything in the manifest reality. So everything is the dark, everything manifests dark, and everything of the Shiva is unmanifested. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with this, but in the gene keys it talks about these huge fractals, you know, hereditary, genetic, ancestral fractals. So you've got these two fractals manifesting as people, and they're coming to meet in manifest form. And the whole play is, how will they meet in the middle? And that's what this whole thing is about. And, you know, this whole idea of it's a play between Shiva and Shakti, and I thought, oh, am I being just too silly? I mean, that seems like such an insult. And so when I checked in with the sage, you know, is my thinking or my concept feeling about this correct? And I got a yes. And I asked, okay, so is Shiva, let's see, how did I ask it? Is the white race the dance of Shiva? And I got a yes, yes, yes. So black race or dark race is the dance of Shakti. Yes, yes, yes. And I asked, well, both races are currently functioning at the shadow level. And I got a yes, yes, yes. Okay, duh. So this is the idea, the picture. And all of this, and I know I'm not making sense and I'm going all over the place, but I'll get on track here in a second. It's just kind of a hard concept to convey. And these two fractals in the gene key, it talks about the 44th gene key, this fractal, each of these fractals at the shadow level, which we're both functioning on, has a virus infecting the whole thing. So like everyone in that fractal, or every being in that fractal, is being infected by this one virus. And the Gene Keys talks about that the healing of this ancestral viral program is not going to take place in a group. It's going to take place between individual and individual. Two people coming together and healing it. And it starts the healing of each fractal, and then it goes up and it goes up and it goes up and it goes up, and it begins to heal the entire ancestral line. So my message here in this is, great, protests are great, wonderful, great, but it's going to start with friendships and relationships, and maybe talking about or looking at some of these issues that the sage delivered through me. I don't know. Okay, so I also had this insight while I was driving, still contemplating this subject, that, you know, since these are two fractals, fractal energies, the Shiva and Shakti playing out, that what were the, you know, before these rays, or the rays of creation that created these fractals, we have 7 rays of creation. Well, we actually have like 12, actually more rays of creation, but 7 rays that are affecting us currently on this planet. And I felt like, well, there must be particular rays that are influencing each one of these fractals, each race. And what I got was that the white race is more heavily influenced by rays 3 and 5. And you can go look up that information if you don't know what I'm talking about, the rays of creation. And I realize I'm looking over here. I should be looking up there, but I see myself on this side of the screen so I can read my notes. Oh, okay. And the Shakti, or black race, dark race, is more influenced by rays 6 and 7. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you the characteristics of these rays that are influencing these fractals. So the white race fractal, easy for me to say, the Shiva race fractal is influenced by rays 3 and 5. The positive characteristics of these rays are power of manifestation, the power to evolve, transcendence, philosophy, illumination, clear, sharp, deeply penetrating mindfulness or mindedness, a sense of perfectionism, silence, the power to produce, very good at concrete science, knowledge, methodology, details, research, and uprightness. So you can get a sense of what those 2 rays characteristics are. Now, the negative influence on the white rays is intellectual pride, arrogance, coldness towards others, isolating from others, selfishness, overly critical of others, hierarchical thinking, lacking in compassion, narrow-mindedness, narrowness in their perspective of life, and prejudice. Okay? Now the black race, the dark race, or the Shakti race is influenced by rays 6 and 7. Their positive characteristics in a whole, in general, okay? This is what is influencing their behavior, is a deep sense of spirituality, and that may show up more now as maybe religious fervor, a real deep sacrificial type love, idealism, burning enthusiasm for a cause, devotion, overcoming the emotional waters. These are the positive traits. The ability to transform, transmute the darkness, nobility, the ability to ground spirit. I mean, makes sense. It's a Shakti. It's everything in creation. They have a sense of chivalry, ceremonial pageantry, working with the hidden forces of nature. They have the power to create, and don't know what that word is, and a sense of self-reliance. Now, the negative influence on this fractal is a selfishness, a real hot, jealous love streak, dependence on others, partiality, self-deception, fiery anger, superstition, prejudice, an over rapid conclusion, like come to conclusions too quickly, bigotry, pride, superficial judgments, and overindulgence. So those are the two negative aspects of those rays that kind of make up these two fractals. Okay, now to go deeper, I wanted to ask what specific shadows genetically are functioning in the white people's race and the black people's race, or the dark skin and the light skin. So for the Shiva race, I got gene key 2, and this is unbelievably perfect because the second hexagram, or the gene key number 2, totally represents the Great Mother, or Shakti herself. So, or the Great Feminine, which is exactly what the dark race, the Shakti race, is all about. So this is the shadow. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. So the white race, it's really kind of a fear of this Great Mother, the Great Shakti. And this shadow is about feeling dislocated or not embodied. The Shiva race, which is all very transcendent, right, is fearful about being embodied. And when we're embodied, we feel dislocated. We have fear, and I say we, I'm speaking for the Shiva race now. There's a fear of our own primal instinctual awareness, our real solar plexus sacral awareness. We have kind of a disgust for our animal nature, our lower nature, which lower doesn't mean bad or negative. Lower means embodied, as in we're in the lower dimension, the third dimension, and we're in a physical form. So we don't like our kind of animal nature. To this fractal, being grounded and in the body seems like going in the wrong direction, going backwards. The Shiva fractal is always striving towards transcendence. We have to leave the body. We must, and it's all in the head. It's all about the great mind. We have to think our way into the future. We do not trust nature. Okay, this is the white race. The Shiva aspect deals in absolutes. Things operate only at a mechanical level. There's no gray area. It feels that the light or the higher is better than the dark or the lower nature. And that the dark, this is important, must yield to the light. There is a total sense of hierarchy going on here. It feels that the light is better than the dark, okay, there's a hierarchy. Everything is black and white, right or wrong. The shadow, how it is expressed, the shadow can be repressed by following a deep sense of materialism, capitalism, selfishness, regimented, and regimenting and enforcing of control and structure over things and people, a sense of superiority. Things, again, are right or wrong. You are either with us or you are our enemy. Okay, so that is the shadow, like the big shadow coming from those negative characteristics of the 3 and 5 rays that are infecting the white race at kind of a more human manifested level. We're just simply afraid of the great mother, Shakti. So, what is the shadow for the Shakti race? or the dark fractal. It comes from the 52nd hexagram or gene key. And these are the shadows of stress and dissatisfaction. It is the phenotype of fear. And it's this constant feeling manifesting in this race, the constant feeling of being in flight or fight. Is that correct? Flight or fright. It feels like this fear is coming directly at them constantly around the environment. There is a constant nagging in this group's mind to get out of the stress. Like that's all, it's like constant fear and stress and anxiety. Something's going to get me, and I've just got to get out of it, okay? Let's see here. This gene key in a hexagram has the greatest, impacts the health the most because it's directly related to the adrenal systems. And this, the reaction or repressed version, the repressed version is manifests as just a sense of stuckness in life, not going nowhere. I'm stuck. I'm just going to be in a state of fear and I'm stuck. Or the reactive nature is restlessness and projecting fear and anger out on others, outwards. The shadow for this group is attempting to force things to happen, using their will to force change, okay? You know, and this is due to the constant worrying, anxiety, and doubt this race has taken on, with good reason, right? The sage also indicates that this group energy, due to their fears, doesn't keep, and this is a quote, this is coming from the I Ching, the hexagram, what it talks about, doesn't keep their jaw still. That sounds funny, but there is a tendency that when in situations of stress or interacting perhaps with the Shiva race, that they tend, because the mind is so trying to figure out a way out, that they don't have they react by using their words, often too many words, over talking others. They don't keep their jaw still. This is coming from the I Ching, this is not coming from me. So they react through speaking, trying to use words to explain, but doing it from a place from their worries, angers, and fears. These words tend to make the problems worse because they are not seeing the reality of the situation as it is in that moment. They're kind of taking worst case scenario and all of their fears that have built up over a lifetime and just letting it all come out, okay? So the sage says, it has a tendency not to keep their jaws still. Okay, so those are the two shadow qualities that these two races are manifesting. We have the Shiva race that has this superiority, hierarchical, going with the mind, transcending, doesn't like to be in the body. Anything that's, you know, instinctual, natural, earth, primal, dark, which means everything in creation, all the beauty, art, all that sort of stuff. It's like, huh, we have to transcend. We have to use our mind to evolve and you know, concrete knowledge and science and all that sort of stuff. And so with the sense of superiority, and you're either with us or you're our enemy, okay? Shakti, just reacting, constantly reacting through a state of fear, worry, anxiety, that life is out to get them, okay? And both of these make sense. They're very real, with a tendency to have more reactive responses, not keeping the jaw still, and just becoming very stuck in life, okay? And taking measures just real reactive measures to keep that mind still. They're just trying to get out of danger constantly. Okay. And once again, I'm sorry if I look like I'm looking sideways. So the last thing I want to talk about are, so what are the gifts that these two beautiful fractals have to offer us? They're teaching us something great. I mean, these two fractals, this whole new era of light that we're coming into, Amazon's about to deliver something. I'm so excited, but they're going to knock on my door or something. Anyway, these two fractals, this energy of coming to meet, when we come to meet in the middle and we find ourselves out of the shadow, what do each of these fractals have to offer? Well, I'll let you know. Shiva, the Shiva fractal, they get hexagram or gene key 53, and this is all about the ability to develop our true selves. This is, of course, it makes sense. Shiva, always transcending, and so our gift is the development of our true self, spiritual evolution, always outgrowing the status quo, expansion of our awareness, of consciousness. It is more practically, we have the ability to transcend our own personal opinions. It is the process of expanding while also including that which came before it, okay? It is the penetration of awareness into all levels of consciousness. It is ultimately the ability to let go of all ideas of who we think we are and who we think others are, and shift into the heart, guiding our life decisions and moving into a more simpler way of functioning in life. And, you know, once we do that, once you drop all identifications of I'm black, I'm white, I'm whatever, all ideas and constructs, then you truly have the gift of prosperity, or what the Gene Keys calls superabundance. Okay, so this is what Shiva has to offer for the white race. Now, the Shakti race, once again, the most perfect hexagram. Hexagram 49, which in the I Ching is called renewal, revolution, and the ending of a fate. I mean, have you guys had enough fate for the last several hundred years or more? Okay, your time is now. So this group is here and all about to bring revolution and renewal to our planet. This group has the deep understanding of the limitations imposed upon civilizations by seeing how our emotions, or their emotions, or our emotions, have kept us from seeing beyond tribal creeds and belief systems. I mean, perfect. So the Shakti race has just a deep, deep understanding of how limiting our reactionaries and our reactions and emotional reactions, how we create divisions through that, and how limiting it is between peoples. So this group seeks to throw out the past while knowing that some parts must stay intact. So there's a real balance there. This gift, this, I can't remember, I think it's the gift of revolution. It's called the silent revolution. This group will no longer be a victim to their emotional reactions and prejudices. Sorry. They have moved beyond the fear and anger. They now seek to resolve conflict while at the same time promoting radical change. All of this change will be based on a deep, deep compassion and goodwill towards all men and creatures. The great rebirth of the species is held within this fractal. I mean, is that not beautiful? That's all I have to share with you on this topic. And I'm sure this video was a little, little nervous making it, because this, you know, don't know if this is my topic to speak about, but this was a personal learning for me, and hearing this, reading this, discovering this on my own has really helped me take a much higher perspective of what's going on. It's like now I can kind of see from above, see this play between these two fractals, and it's all kind of silly. I mean, it's not silly, but it's beautiful because it's the greatest learning opportunity. And that learning, you know, will spark such a great spiritual consciousness evolution on this planet. It's beautiful. To me, it's beautiful. But if we could just, you know, if we can get out of the shadow frequencies that we're currently in, that would be great. And remember, it's going to start with the individual, the friends, the partners, the lovers. From each one of these fractals, we got to get together one by one and look at these shadows, take it from there. Okay. I hope that's been helpful, and until next time.